In the central highlands of Vietnam, winding through dense, jungle-clad mountains, there lies a stretch of road known as GOB 40. It's more than just asphalt and gravel. It's a place etched with memories, a scar left on the landscape from a time of conflict. This mountain pass wasn't originally built for commerce or commuters. It was carved out of the earth during the war, a vital artery for soldiers navigating the treacherous terrain. Back then, this was a lifeline, a clandestine route used to transport essential supplies, medicine, and soldiers through the suffocating embrace of the jungle. Convoys of trucks and foot soldiers moved under the cover of darkness, their every step shadowed by imminent danger. For hundreds, perhaps thousands, this road was their final journey. The pass became a theater of tragedy, where the air was thick with the constant threat of ambushes from unseen enemies. The ground trembled from the sudden violence of explosions, and the winding, poorly maintained track itself claimed lives through horrifying accidents. Many who entered the depths of GOB 40 never made it out. When the war finally ended and a fragile peace settled over the land, the road was rebuilt. It was widened, paved, and integrated into the national highway system, intended to connect communities and foster a new era of growth. But the locals, those who have lived in the shadow of the mountains for generations, whisper that while the road was remade, the souls of those who perished there never left. They say the pass holds on to its ghosts, and the echoes of its violent past still linger in the heavy mountain air. Today, many long-haul truck drivers, men who know the country's roads like the back of their hands, harbor a deep-seated fear of GOB 40. They will go to great lengths to avoid it after the sun sets, preferring to take longer, more circuitous routes than to challenge the spirits of the pass. They speak of it in hushed, serious tones, sharing stories that have become part of a modern folklore of the road. One such story, which gained notoriety in online forums and roadside cafes around 2018, comes from a seasoned driver named Tuan. He was on a tight schedule, pushing his heavy vehicle through the night to make a delivery. As he began his ascent into the pass around 2:30 in the morning, a thick, disorienting fog rolled in, a common occurrence in these highlands. The mist was so dense it swallowed his headlights, reducing visibility to mere feet. He could barely discern the edges of the road from the darkness of the jungle beyond. It was in this suffocating silence that he saw her. A figure materialized from the gloom, standing motionless in the very center of his lane. It was a woman, her form made ghostly by the fog, wearing what looked like a simple white dress. Long, dark hair cascaded over her shoulders, completely obscuring her face. Tuan's heart leaped into his throat. He slammed on the brakes, the truck's tires screeching in protest as the heavy vehicle lurched to a violent halt. He braced for impact, but there was none. When he finally looked up, his hands trembling on the steering wheel, she was gone. The road ahead was empty. It was only then, as his eyes adjusted, that he realized he had stopped just a few meters from a sharp, unprotected turn that dropped into a sheer cliff. If he hadn't braked for the phantom woman, he would have driven straight off the edge into the abyss below. The stories told by the villagers who live in the small hamlets nestled at the foot of the mountains are even older, rooted in a local tragedy that predates the war's most intense fighting. They speak of a young woman who was to be married, her heart full of joy and promise. On the day of her wedding, the car carrying her to her future groom was traveling through the pass. A sudden storm, or perhaps a mechanical failure, the details are lost to time, caused the vehicle to lose control on a treacherous bend. The car crashed through the rudimentary barrier and plunged off the cliff, vanishing into the dense canopy of the jungle below. Rescue teams searched for days, but the terrain was unforgiving. Her body was never found. Ever since that day, travelers have reported strange encounters on that same stretch of road. Some claim to see a sorrowful bride in white, standing by the roadside, her arm outstretched as if waving for help. Others, when the fog rolls in and the world grows quiet, swear they can hear the faint, heartbreaking sound of soft crying drifting from the trees that now grow over the site of the crash. In 2021, driven by these persistent legends, a group of young YouTubers, specializing in paranormal investigations, decided to test the legends of JOB-40 for themselves. They aimed to spend an entire night on the pass, armed with cameras, audio recorders, and a healthy dose of skepticism, hoping to capture definitive proof of the haunting. They set up their equipment near the infamous cliffside where the bride was said to have died. For hours, nothing happened. The night was still, broken only by the chirping of insects. But then, at approximately 1:17 a.m., one of their motion-sensitive night vision cameras captured something inexplicable. In the footage, a fleeting dark shadow can be seen moving with unnatural speed behind a line of trees at the edge of the road. It was there for a second, a flicker of movement, where there should have been none, and then it was gone. Startled, the group grabbed their flashlights and rushed to investigate the spot, their hearts pounding. They found nothing. No footprints, no broken branches, no one there at all. Just minutes after this eerie event, their ordeal intensified. The battery of their car, which had been perfectly fine, suddenly died without warning, plunging them into complete darkness and leaving them stranded. They never uploaded the full, unedited footage from that night. Only a few short, shaky clips survived and were shared online, leaving viewers to wonder what else they might have seen and why they chose to abandon the project. Today, JOB-40 remains an active and essential artery connecting two of Vietnam's central provinces. Every day, buses, cars, and motorcycles traverse its winding path, their occupants largely unaware of the dark history beneath their wheels. It is, by all official accounts, just another mountain road. But for the locals, and for the drivers who have had their own unsettling encounters in the dead of night, it is something more. They hold a deep respect for the pass, a belief that certain places can retain the pain and sorrow of the past. They refuse to drive there after midnight, convinced that the road is a conscious entity, that it remembers the countless souls who died upon it. And sometimes, they say, when the fog is thick and the moon is hidden, it calls for more.